Hey, happy Mother's Day. Started with a little tune for you guys. Isn't she lovely? Dedicated to my mother. Isn't she lovely? Love her so much. So it's going to be a good show. Ready, boys?
That was fantastic.
Great job, Albert.
Thanks.
What's up, all you no bullshitters out there? Welcome to I'm a Little Buzzed, Mother's Day edition. The show where we explore the hilarious intersection between business and life, and today, motherhood, all while sharing a glass of whatever makes you happy. Fellas, what makes you happy tonight?
What makes me
It's a
happy?
great day with family.
My mother being alive and well, and that's what makes me happy today.
Yeah, right on. Cheers to moms.
Cheers.
So, for all of you out there, it's Al. It's John, and it's Rob, founders of NoBull 2020, presented by Bankers Healthcare Group. It's happening this September 17th in Syracuse, New York. Tickets are on sale, NoBull2020.com. Today's show, we're going to feature a little biz inspiration about the 3 M's: moms, marketing, and managing it all. Today, we're honored to have a few special guests, some mompreneurs, as well as a secret guest for all of you out there. But if this is your first time watching, thank you so much for stopping by. And what we do on this show is, if I can get this thing open. Hey!
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. The show is called I'm a Little Buzzed because we share a glass of vino or bourbon or water or whatever it is your beverage of choice is, while chatting about some humor, some inspiration, and some things we love. So, fellas, without further ado, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, fathers, mothers, especially out there, let's have a little cheers to life, love, a little bit of laughter, and to all the moms out there, you totally kick ass. We love you. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. For those of you who haven't watched the show, Empathy Wine, you can get free tickets to NoBull 2020 by going over to empathywines.com, purchasing a 12-pack, and entering in the code NoBull 2020. But to get into some quick announcements, for those of you following along with our journey of building this event and now building this media company, I'm going to turn it over to Coach Rob to rip through some of these announcements.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So tonight's sponsor, Mom Jeans. Did you guys know that Mom Jeans are actually like in style, cool, awesome, like, you know, providing high-waisted casual comfort all day, every day. Did not know they were back in style.
They're back, baby.
And it's now actually a thing. So that's cool. As John said, you heard about the deal for the tickets to the event. So again, just to reiterate that real quickly, buy a case of Empathy Wine, gets you a free ticket to the event. And for all you ballers out there, buy 20 cases of wine. You get a ticket per case purchased, and you get one of only 3 remaining VIP tickets to have a meet and greet with Gary after the main event. We're looking at about 20, 25 people on that. That's it. A small group, very intimate setting. So again, ticket per case, 20 tickets with 20 cases gets you a VIP ticket. 3 of those left. Tickets are on sale right now. We do have a backup plan, so we've gotten a few questions here and there about, hey guys, are you still going to have the event? We are not canceling the event unless they put chains on the doors and say, hey, you guys can't come in. Should that happen, we've already got a backup date in place for next year, and we're good to go. So
that's right.
Back to you.
We got something special. So normally Sundays are wild card Sunday. So I'm a little buzzed, wild card Sundays. We obviously you're having a Mother's Day show because moms are awesome and we love them. But most Sundays we have a little segment called Wildcard Contests, and we like to give back. We like to give to the community. We like to do some cool things for you, our community, growing community. So we do giveaways and cool things. Last show we gave away a pair of Jackson Jovi jeans. Congratulations to Nick and Brian on those. You should be getting your jeans shortly. Today, though, Al,
Yes.
What's the wild card contest today?
That was intense. So the wild card contest today is we are giving away a 3-pack, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, of Empathy wine. So you'll get an assorted 3-pack. Well, you can let us know actually. But you can either do an assorted 3-pack, red, white, or rosé, or you can do all of whatever your preference is. And all you have to do, it's super simple. You go in the comments, you tag or type in your mom's name with a heart, and then at the end of the show, if you're in the live stream still, which we hope you will be, it's only an hour show, so hang with us and have some drinks. We'll pick a random winner, and you will get a 3-pack of wine of whatever kind of assortment you want. There's red, white, and rosé of Empathy wine. And we'll send that to you. We'll get in touch with you, and we'll send it to you. So all you got to do is tag your mom or write her name with a heart in the comments of this live, and don't forget to share and encourage other people to do so. And it's free wine. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Plus, you're showing mom some love.
Yeah, mama.
Yep.
Mama.
Cool. So, very excited for this next segment, guys. These are our first interviews. I mean, for those of you that were watching, we're going to have guests on Tuesdays and Thursdays to share some knowledge, drop some bombs on us of how they're, finding their own success in life and business.
Yeah.
But today we're having our first guests on, and it's a great little segment. We are interviewing 3 mompreneurs. They're 3 moms who are also entrepreneurs, have carved out great pathways to success for themselves, and we're gonna learn how they did it. That's it. So
we're waiting on our first one. She was in here for a second. Now she's gone.
Boop, popped out.
Oh,
All
she decided, you know what? I'm not going to hang with these guys.
I
I don't like their faces.
Wait. Yeah.
This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah. They're like, they're
Well,
drinking on this. This
wait
could
a
get
minute.
out of control. This could
This-
get
I
out
don't
of
like
control.
Cooch
I mean,
Rooster.
it very well will get out of control for anyone
Yeah.
watching out there. We started out this podcast saying, promoting it as entrepreneurs plus wine plus no rules equals this very podcast. So the whole wine plus no rules piece might spiral out of control.
Well,
We could switch up the order.
let's switch up the order. I mean, we want to, Rob, you have a contact. Maybe shoot her a text.
Yeah, I'm checking back and forth with her now. You want to have the next guest come in?
Let's see if
Guest number 2.
let's see if
What?
let's see if we can get her on here.
Oh, wait a minute. Here she is, Jessie. She's
We
in.
good?
Here we go. All right, folks.
You know what? This is like Zoom culture. So
This is Zoom culture.
yeah.
Here we go. Welcome.
There she is.
Welcome.
Can you hear us?
Can you guys hear me?
We
Yeah,
can.
we
got the
sure
little-
can. How are you?
A little choppy. I've been in every corner of my house. So glad to get on. I'm so great. How are you?
Great. Well, listen, everyone listening. Yeah, we would love to welcome Jessie Harris Boughton. She's a mom of 5, creator of Millionaire Mompreneur Project, where she teaches moms in business how to create more meaning, money, and freedom in their life by standing out online with one simple marketing system. Jessie, thanks so much for chatting with us.
Excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me. I mean, I'm already pretty good friendly with Rob. For you guys, I've been living vicariously through social media, and I'm digging your guys' fun, especially opening with the sax.
Oh,
There it is.
Al,
a trial.
see?
Told
It
you.
was a
Al,
trial
we
run.
told you.
Trial
It's-
run. Appreciate it, though. Thank you very much.
It's going to be a thing for sure.
Real thing.
So Jessie, start out. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I gave the quick one sentence of who you are and what you do, but elaborate a little bit on you, your business, and kind of where you are in life.
Do my best here to give you the 30-second overview. So driver.
Oh boy,
Oh boy.
Jessie, the signals.
Technical difficulties.
Al, could we do a call in maybe?
Yeah. Rob, give her a call. Let's do a FaceTime. Let's see. Let's do a FaceTime. We'll get she's working on it here.
Oh, there's
Signal-
Lindsay.
There's Lindsay. Rob, give her a call, FaceTime, and let's see if we can. I don't have her number. I would do it.
Hold on, I'll give it to you. Ready?
Share the screen. Maybe share this. Can you do it on your computer and share the screen, John?
Here, I'm gonna put the number in for Al. Ready?
Gosh, being
It's in
live.
our chat.
It's in our chat. Put the number. Let's see if we can give her a FaceTime call. This could be interesting.
Yeah, you guys work on that.
There you
I'm
go.
going to remind the audience about the contest. So all of you out there, the 20 plus of you watching, don't forget to tag your mother if she's on Facebook.
That's right.
Call her, text her right now, tag her so she sees this and can click in to watch this wonderful episode. You can wish her Mother's Day. If she doesn't have Facebook, you can simply write her name and a heart in the comments below this episode, below this show, and you'll be entered to win the 3-pack of Empathy wines. You can do all red, you can do all rosé, you can do all white, or you can do a mix pack of the 3 of them. You can try all 3 if you'd like. Either any one of those, your choice. But all you have to do is tag your mom, write her name in the comments below, and a little bit of heart. If you want to elaborate, wish her a happy Mother's Day. Thank her for birthing you.
So, little
It's the
update
right
on
thing
the
to do.
technology.
Yes.
Turns out we can't FaceTime because my camera is only one camera. It can only use one camera at a time. So here she's back in. Let's see if this is any better.
Let's do it.
Come on. Everybody's rooting for Jessie Harris. Oh, she's gone.
And we're out.
And we're out.
Side note here, I'm going to riff a little bit.
Rip it up.
The past 2 weeks of business meetings have pretty much been like this. So the good news with having a tech problem right now is the world is used to it because Zoom meetings happen like this all the time. So I've been probably through 5 meetings. Leave a comment below if you've been on Zoom meetings all week long and experience this. Yeah, experience choppiness and what's that buzzing?
I don't know what
That's so she can't get in. So want to see if I can FaceTime her and then
or just call her and use the audio only, or whatever you want to do. We'll figure it out one way or the other. But a quick question from my mom's friend and also my friend. I'm very honored to call her my friend as well. Linda Balducci. She wants to know, where are the wines sold? So nowhere. accept online. It's direct to consumer. So you can't get them anywhere locally. You can't get them in any store, any restaurant. You have to order online, or, you go through us. But if you do want to go online, go to empathywines.com, order whatever you'd like, and make sure you use the promo code NoBull 2020. And that's the only way you can get the wine, unless you should win tonight, in which case we'll ship it to you for free. But if you want some of this wine, it's only sold online, direct to consumer, about a $50 bottle of wine sold for $20 because they cut out all the middlemen.
That's how they do it.
So boom, there you go, Linda. In the meantime, as we wait for this, you want to just bump her? Let's just switch it.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Audible.
Is Lindsay at?
Lindsay is in the queue.
Jesse, do we have you?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
You guys hear her?
We're doing this.
Let's go with audio. We'll have you back on with videos. We figure it out.
We're doing this. Hey, Jesse.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay now?
Yeah, let's do it.
I hear nothing.
Oh dear.
Rob, you have headphones in, so you got. She can't hear you. She can't
just
hear
a second, Jesse.
Let's talk about how smooth of an operation we've got right now.
Beautiful.
We are really.
So, Rob, here's what we're gonna do. You're just gonna read it. You're gonna interview her.
Hold on, guys. Take off the headset and we'll go.
Let's.
All right, let's try it again.
Hey, Jesse, can you hear us?
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you and I can see your cute faces, but
Oh.
let's try this.
All right, let's do it. So I did a little intro. I'm gonna do an intro again. Jessie is a mom of 5, a creator of a Millionaire Mompreneur Project, where she teaches moms in business how to create more meaning, money, and freedom in their life by standing out online with one simple marketing system. Jessie, can you? That's a obviously very brief version of what you do, but can you give a quick maybe 60-second overview of what you've done, what you've built in your life, and kind of where you are these days?
Absolutely. So always wanted to be 2 things in life, a race car driver and a mom. Went out at the young age of 20, drove race cars for 7 years professionally, retired as the winningest driver in both the male and female category, got married, had a couple kids, got depressed, got lost, thought my life was over because I had done both of my dreams by the time I was 27 and didn't understand that I could go off and pursue more. So I ended up finding personal development, falling in love with it, getting certified as a life coach, and then building a side gig business pretty successfully with my husband in a physical therapy clinic in our hometown, as well as my online coaching business, and was so successful with doing it with kids on my hip all the time and not working crazy hours that a lot of people were interested in how I did that. And here I am. Now, mainly my gig is being a mom of 5 and teaching other moms how to make a career out of their calling, more or less.
That's amazing. So you have you said you and your husband have a physical therapy. So you have a brick and mortar business as well as your online business.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. We actually employ 15 people at our brick and mortar right in Rome, New York. That's
fantastic. So tell us a little bit about that juggling, because I'm super interested. I know a lot of people are, right? Because you have the online marketing and online business world, right? So all that, drop shipping and courses and content and things like that. And then you have the brick and mortar, which has been around for hundreds of years, and, somewhat different way to do business, although they definitely mesh together. Talk about the transition of growing your physical therapy business with your husband, and then balancing that with now figuring out how to start an online business. What are the differences between the two, I guess is what I'm trying to boil it down to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question because my husband and I had built the therapy clinic, honestly, for 15 years, 14, 15 years before we extended over into the online space. And marketing and online was completely different for me. We'd always done everything word of mouth in our brick and mortar because we live in a small town. And now I was starting cold. I had nobody to reach out to really to help me build this business because I wanted to do something bigger than just here. I felt like I was meant to change the world. And honestly, let's just be honest. You guys know you're in this space and with the marketing, it changes every day online, right? So you have to come up with that foundational thing that you do that's going to help you stand out. And what I truly believe is what helped me not only grow my physical therapy clinic with my husband, but my online coaching business most is that I infuse our own personality into it. Number one, we don't try to do anything like anyone else. We just try to do it like us, which is, very fun because that's how we are. We're very like huggy family people because that's how we are, whether it's in our therapy clinic or online. I mean, you become my best friend and I may have never met you in person, right? You might live halfway across the country, but I'll say I love you when we get off a coaching call. A huge part of, I believe, why we've been so successful is because we make serving the primary purpose, and anything else after that is just a byproduct, and it's how we've been able to build our businesses so successfully, all through word of mouth and no paid ads, etc.
You just actually answered my next question, which was how important is that service to, the word of mouth aspect in growing your company? You sort of just answered it, but
I did. It's funny because I work with what I call purpose-driven entrepreneurs in my coaching space. And I say that because anybody can build a business, but I believe when you want it to grow exponentially and really touch the lives of so many people, it has to be something that comes from your heart. And so that's one of the most beautiful things. I always thought I was going to have to put a lot of money into ads to grow a 7-figure business, right? And that wasn't the case at all. It was really just taking a stand in who we are, what our values are, and then finding the people that fit into that. Not trying to get anybody with an Amex card, let's say, but get the right people, the right fit for me, the right fit for them. And, the others that it doesn't work right, that's okay. There's somebody else for them. I'm not worried about them not being my customer.
Yeah. It's the most important thing in business. And, that's honestly the foundation of our conference that we're having in the fall is that things are much more acceptable and in today's day and age, and people are realizing the human factor, whether you're switching B2B to now P2P, right? Business to business is now people to people, or, people are realizing that vulnerability and honesty, and those are the things that are going to build the next billion-dollar companies. It's really exciting to be living in this time and opportunity and entrepreneurship. Even though we're in a weird time now, we're seeing a lot of these things be accelerated, in content. But the big question here we have, Jesse, is the ups of entrepreneurship and motherhood are easy. Whether they're easy, not easy like easy to do, but sometimes easy to get in a good mental state when things are going really well, easy to be happy, easy to get through hard times when things are, up in certain areas. But what gets you through those downs to keep you going? Can you give a short example if you have one?
Yeah. I mean, I think first thing to remember, at least in my case, is I've probably had a whole lot more downs than ups over the years. I think that the reason I've been so successful is because I was willing to fall flat on my face for the world to see, just to gain that experience and that knowledge. I believe that the thing that gives you confidence truly is just experience. And then the more you do it, by being courageous, the more you get. And so for me, it's just been showing up today as who I can be at my best 100%. I believe we actually only have control over 2 things in life, and that's belief and effort, or attitude and actions, however you want to look at it. And if we just focus on doing what we can with what we have and where we are, even if it's not anywhere close to where we want to be, then you're doing what's right in the moment, right? We can learn from each and everything. And it's really just that next step that matters most. I'm all about planning for the future, but it's the next step that matters most. And each decision that you make can lead you to a whole totally different life, right? Decisions determine your destiny. And so therefore, I know that every decision I make, I want to be sure it's with 100% belief and effort in knowing that my future is bright, even if right now it's looking a little dark.
It's fantastic advice. You spoke a little bit to control what you can control, essentially. Do you have any advice for particularly new moms out there, new business owners too, new entrepreneurs as well? But I just had a newborn. My wife and I just had our first newborn. So I know this is fresh, in my mind and our minds, but do you have any advice for new moms? Because things change every day when you have a young child and a young baby, and planning is something we're learning is changes every day, right? You can set a plan and then the next day something's totally different. So do you have any new advice for new moms out there?
Yeah, this is so great. So I'm a mom of 5, ages 8 to 3 months old. But 3 months old is my youngest right now. And I just actually talked about this on my podcast, The Millionaire Mompreneur Project, this past week, because everybody's like, who follow me, how are you doing it with a 3-month-old? And believe me, I'm not super mom. There are times that I will pat myself on the back and be proud of how I show up. But there's one thing that I've learned that is consistent both in parenting and in entrepreneurship. And the thing that gets the most moves or helps you move forward the way you want and have the most success is by taking control of your actions and ultimately creating systems, consistent systems out of them. And if you think about it, if you have older kids at all, you understand that you've got to ride that kid's hiney for 2 weeks for them to finally remember to take the garbage out or to change their underwear or brush their teeth, right? It's the same thing in your business. And so for me right now, I went from having a part-time nanny and a part-time house cleaner to basically running 2 businesses from home with 5 kids on my hip, 3 of which I have to teach and 1 of which is basically on the boob half time. So how am I doing that? It's through having a system. Systems simplify processes, and processes are the pathway to power. And I know that we don't want to, when we're new parents, especially, we're tired, we're exhausted. We don't want to get up and kind of keep that wheel moving on that system, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. But if you don't, guess what? The wheels will come off and you will lose control. And so I've found that the more I show up for those systems, the easier it is for me to kind of keep control and driving that car more or less.
That's fantastic. Actually, Al was just talking to me about his system for remembering to change his underwear. So that's a pretty good.
When you said that, I was like, that hits hard. That hits real hard for me, especially during quarantine. That one really landed on.
So, Jesse,
my mom does remind me. So
good. She sends you texts
daily. Did you eat and did you change your underwear? So it's been good.
Answer over under that your answer is yes.
50-50, dude. Every day is a different day.
So Jesse, thank you so much for taking the time, and especially on a Sunday. Happy Mother's Day 1,000,000 times. But before we jump off, tell the audience one thing that you'd like them to know about yourself, something that you're working on, website that you want them to go to, and then just mention where would be the best place to contact you.
Jessie Harris Boughton is my name across the board everywhere. It's my handle. Instagram is my jam. I love to chit chat over there the most. So feel free to hit me up there. I'm just somebody who's super passionate about connecting with people who are looking to pursue growth and freedom every single day in both their life and business. I will be a champion of you and a cheerleader, plain and simple, because that's what I have always wanted in my life. Somebody that was willing to just give you that boost and that lift and I'm here rooting for all of us right now, more or less, to get through these really uncertain times. But I believe that together we are much, much stronger, and ultimately we're unstoppable. So that's why I'm super excited to connect with you more here today and in the future.
Amen.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jesse.
We'll be sure to have you back on with all the video goods, and we'll fix, anything that can be fixed, internet, whatever. But we'd love to have you back on at some point in the future and get your video in here. So thanks for being patient.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Have a great night. Happy Mother's Day.
Good night.
All right. So takeaway there is just keep going in the shortest possible sense, right? So you can only control what you can control. Jesse did a great job at laying out from clearly deep experience, raising 5 kids and having running 2 businesses, right? I mean, that is not something that should, you can take lightly on a daily basis. So the systems, right? So control only what you can control and build out systems to try to juggle it all. Great advice. Love it.
John, for you. Right on the screen.
What's that?
Linda's very happy for you. Congrats on your new baby. It's on the screen.
Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you. So our next guest is a rock star. No bias.
None.
Lindsay Dillon Timmerman is the co-founder of Jackson Jovie Community and Business Development at Good Monster, and my lovely wife and baby mama.
Aww.
Hi, Lindsay.
If I knew how to do it, I would put you next to John, but I don't know how to do it.
Lindsay, you have no audio. Click the microphone button.
So we're 2 for 2 successful.
We should call this Tech
Sundays.
Terrible Tech Sundays. I don't know. Can you hear us?
Thumbs up.
Then tap the screen. Is there like a little microphone? Nothing. Maybe
Ever come in the room with you?
Yeah. Well, we were going to surprise people.
Oh yeah.
We were going to say like, oh yeah, she's, in Florida, and then have her like walk into the screen.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe you can grab Trip and come in here.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, cool. Rock on. All right. So,
there you have it.
We are 2. Did you say this? We're 2 for 2.
We're 2 for 2 with really great successes.
Yeah. Great success.
Great success.
So for those of you watching live, you're awesome.
Thanks.
You're awesome. Yeah. Thanks for this. So a year from now, we're going to be like the biggest podcast on the internet, clearly.
Yeah.
By far. And we're going to look back at these early days of COVID-19, tech, Zoom issues galore, and really just making it all happen. So I'm going to scoot over here.
Scoot.
And
here, let me make this little.
And
another guest.
And we get a freebie. This isn't the special guest, by the way.
John.
Is he sleeping?
No.
Oh,
you did this, John.
Here, I'll hold him. You want to hold him?
I don't care.
Okay. Man, you guys are really getting a live show. So, hey, let me just extend this real quick.
John, I got it. Here.
Sad.
Oh.
What if I just pulled out of?
Wait, hand it over again. Okay.
Here. I got it.
Thank you.
No,
wait, no. Here, I'll give it back.
Yeah, no.
Can you take these out?
That is that's probably the highlight of today.
All right, I'm going to take these headphones out because she can't hear anything. But I'm going to be the one interviewing. No, you want to chit chat though, right?
I would like to.
Whatever you want.
There.
There. How's that sound over there for you guys?
Perfect. You're good.
Perfect. What's up, Trip?
Hey, Trip.
Say hi. Say hi to everybody.
All right. For those of you listening on the podcast, you're like, what the fuck is going on right now? Okay. So among all the drool and love, lots of love here.
Lots.
Tell us about your journey to where you are today?
So I started out, got my master's in counseling, and worked for about 10 years in the nonprofit world as a therapist, supervisor, director of our home-based family therapy program, and worked a lot in nonprofit. And then pretty much just kind of knew that that wasn't going to be something that I wanted to do forever, really. I just really didn't like a lot of kind of experiences over time that just made me feel like I didn't actually have a say. I didn't have a voice. I didn't have the position to actually be able to make and implement the change that I wanted. And so that was incredibly frustrating for me. And I mean, it sounds cliche, but I've wanted to be a mom since I was like 5. So I just knew that I would get to the point where I didn't want to have to leave him. And I knew I was going to want to leave my job and figure out something else and work for myself and find a way to make an income in a way that I could put my family first and always be there for my family. And so the rest is history.
How was the transition between having a full-time job and for the very first time ever diving into entrepreneurship with Jackson Jovi?
Interesting and bumpy. Starting Jackson Jovi with you and John is the first time that I ever did any sort of business. I never did anything prior to that. And so that was full of a lot of bumps in the road and just trying to figure things out, and a lot of tears on my end, not John's end. And just trying to figure out what all that means and trying to figure out how to deal with like my worry and my anxiety and my frustration around how do you proceed when you don't know if that's the right step, the right thing to do, the next right thing that if you do that thing, it's going to make you successful. And so I think it was just a lot of conversations and trial and error and crying and still making the step and still moving forward and just figuring it out.
Yeah. So the ups of entrepreneurship and motherhood are easy, even though sometimes they're difficult. You know, when you're in high spirits, it makes things that are difficult easier.
Yeah.
But what do you do to get through the downs? And if you have any examples, please share.
Yeah. Well, I can speak to that, like making the transition from working full time to leaving my job, being a full-time mom and owning a business and working there full time. Like that was rough. Like I'm a pretty strong girl, but that was a lot of things all at once that happened, like full-time mom, full-time working from home and working with my husband. Like that was just a lot coming at me. And so it was just very challenging to try to navigate, especially when I didn't really know anybody that's made that transition. So it was a lot, but I think the biggest thing that helps me is even now, sometimes if I get discouraged, if I feel like it's not going well, or if my worry kind of takes over and my anxiety kicks in and I'm like, oh my God, how do I know that this is going to be successful? Is I just keep reminding myself every day, remember that what you have today is what you used to dream of having. And so that puts it in check for me, like in an instant. So I might not know the way, I might not have the reassurance that I'm going to be quote unquote successful, or, you know, whatever that thing, that idea is that's fleeting. It always helps me to know this is exactly what you always wanted. This is what you dreamed of. And now you have it and you're going to figure the rest out. No matter what happens, you've always figured everything out before in your life and you've always found a way to be successful. And this is no different. You just have to focus on what's the next thing that I can do that's going to help me on my goal. What's the thing I can do today that's going to help me get closer to the things that I want to have in my life? Yeah.
Very awesome.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say is that I took a conference this weekend with Rachel Hollis, and it was amazing.
Awesome.
Huge fan of her. For anybody who hasn't like consumed any of her content, stop, go, consume it. Same with Gary Vee. They're both like super
Rachel Hollis, right?
Yeah, just Rachel Hollis. Thank you. And so one of the things that I really took away this weekend from the conference was, sometimes, and I really liked what Jessica was talking about when you just had her on in terms of like setting up systems and having a structure, and that helps smooth out the processes and helps you work towards your goals. And the big thing I took away from the conference was sometimes you don't always have the sense of when you're on the right track to accomplishing your goals. So it helps me to think in 5 or 10 years from now or 6 months from now, where do I want to be? And then kind of work backwards and say, okay, if that's where I want to be in 5 years or that's where I want to be in 6 months, what am I doing, or am I doing the things today that are going to help me track toward actually having that in 6 months or in 5 years, or hell, in 2 weeks? If I want to have a certain thing happen in 2 weeks, am I actually doing what I need to do today and so on to actually make that happen? So that's been enormously helpful for me. And I think it helps put things in perspective in terms of what do you actually need to do in order to make those goals happen. So the transition, I think, has been rough in terms of just being overwhelming because I have very high expectations for myself. John can attest to that. So it gets a little bit overwhelming, and I just want all the great things to happen today or yesterday. But that question of, what am I doing today, or where do I want to be, and what am I doing today to make that happen has been a real game changer.
Great.
What does Trip have to say about all that?
Trip agrees. Yeah, we have a lot of chats about it.
Trip is all in.
He says, I sleep the perfect amount and your milk tastes good.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Had to go there.
Hey,
pretty much
we're all
it.
drinking something. Trip might as well join in.
Yeah.
That's true.
Trip is buzzed.
Empathy, milk.
Trip's a little buzzed. Look at him. He's like,
Okay.
yeah, it's all good.
I'm a little buzzed. Well, there you have it, folks. There it is.
So
Happy Mother's Day, Linz.
Happy
Thank
Mother's
you.
Day, Linz.
Yes.
thank you so much for sharing.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
And one more question, or not question. Yeah, question. If any viewers out there would like to chat with you, where would you like them to contact you?
Sure. You can contact me on Instagram at StrongerLindsay or at lindsay@thegoodmonster.com.
Sweet.
Give her a shout out.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for making an appearance.
See you, Trip.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Okay.
All right. 2 for 2.
2 for 2. Not bad.
Rebound.
Our next guest, let's see. I feel like this one's going to be spot on. She's a Zoom pro.
She is a Zoom pro.
Yeah.
Yep.
If Rob is speaking honestly, she's in Zoom calls pretty much all day long anyways, right?
Quite a bit. Yep.
So, all right.
All right. So all right. You guys want to cheers real quick? Maybe we'll do like a good luck.
Cheers. Like a good luck cheers that
A
the
good luck
audio and video
cheers.
is spot on.
Yes.
Thanks everybody for staying with us here.
We should, side note, cheers. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, everyone out there.
Yes, cheers.
We should make a consistent, like throughout the show section where we cheers. Like something that's like when somebody says something, we have to cheers to it. You know what I'm saying? Like a game.
Yeah.
Like anybody says the word like NoBull,
Okay, I like that.
which doesn't come. We're gonna have to like get it
Every
in the
time
show.
there's an audio problem, we take a drink.
Goodbye,
Nice.
bottle of empathy.
Good night, boy.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Irene.
Oh, my grandmother's name is Irene. Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, Irene.
Okay, so our next guest is Michelle Schauger. Michelle is a financial advisor whose passion is teaching. She left a 13-year career as a high school math teacher when her son was young to build a financial advisory firm. Michelle's been advising individuals, businesses, and churches on how to create plans to accomplish their goals in the most cost-effective, tax-efficient way to maximize results for the last 18 years. Welcome, Michelle.
I brought my baby.
Ah,
I was gonna go put him on a fake doll and rock him.
It worked.
Yeah.
He went fit today.
But if I didn't,
That
he would say, "Mom, that's so creepy."
That picture, actually, I just heard it said Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Well-
So, Michelle, we finally meet
I've met her actually.
the elusive Michelle Chugger. Cheers.
No, and I don't even have any cookies. What the heck?
Well, eventually this quarantine will end.
Rob's always like, "Hey, let me run it by Michelle real quick," and and then we're like, "Okay, sounds good."
And I'll consume all those cookies.
Oh.
I will. So thank you for being on this Sunday night. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. You know what? Before we start, I want to thank you guys, and I just wanted to tell you, it sounds corny, but I'm super proud of you guys. Like following your vision and going for it. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That means a lot.
It's been chaotic, as you know, but here we are. It's happening. It's all happening. So I gave a couple of sentences about you, but that will not do it justice. Just talk a little bit about that 13-year career, how that evolved into what you're doing now, and then what you've been doing for the past 18 years to where you are today.
Sure. I thought I would actually maybe tell parts of the story that will give some credibility to the question you're going to ask me in a moment.
Absolutely.
So when I graduated from Hamilton, I had a degree in math. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I had really poor advising up until that point, meaning they were like, "Oh, well, you're a girl, you're good at math. Maybe you could be a teacher." And I'm thinking, teacher, like, I grew up with Top Gun. Like, I want to fly planes. I want to do something crazy. And so at the time, I was being actually recruited to go to New York to work for Goldman and Sachs. And when they finally gave me the offer and said, "You have to live in New York City," for whatever reason, I freaked out and was like, "I can't live in New York City." I was terrified. I said, "Could I go to Chicago, Boston, anywhere besides New York?" And they were like, "Nope." So at that point, I turned down the offer and I had nothing to do. So the Career Center said, "Hey, why don't you put your resume out and just, see if you actually want to be a teacher?" And I thought, good idea. I don't want to pay for a master's degree for something I hate. So I got a job teaching in a Quaker boarding school outside of Philadelphia, and I taught there for 3 years. So my experience there really formed who I was and what I wanted to do with my life. I loved teaching there. I coached. I lived on dorm. I ran cool clubs. I just thought to myself the whole time, like, how come we didn't have this where I went to school? So I thought I'd be a Pollyanna and move back and try to bring all of that back with me. So I moved back here and I started teaching. So part of why I moved back here was because I wanted to, but part of why I moved back here was I was fired because I was pregnant. So
Get out of here.
Yep. So I had been dating my college sweetheart
against that.
for a very long time at that point. And, it was a boarding school. So they were like, "Well, if he won't come here and marry you and, get married and live together, then, you're not going to have a job." What was most disturbing, though, was in a faculty meeting, they sat me down and they said, "If you come back in September and you're not pregnant, you'll have a job." And I looked around the room and I was like, "What?" Like, if I fall down the stairs and I'm not pregnant, what are you talking about? And so at that point, I was young at that time. I was 25 years old, and I looked at the head of school and I just said, "So what you're saying is if I have an abortion, I'll have a job?" And they were like, "Yep." And I was
That's
like, "Okay."
crazy.
They were like,
I literally stood
not
up
our
and walked
words,
out of the
these are-
room. And what was really empowering for the women on the line here tonight is that all the women who were in the meeting stood up and came with me.
Oh, thank
And
God.
like no
Very-
one
this is
has
very
ever
Jerry
told
Maguire of
anyone
you,
like
"Who's
that.
coming with me?"
Yeah.
It was crazy. So it was funny because I had an advisee at the time whose dad was an attorney, and he said, "You could sue them." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going to be driving back and forth to Philadelphia with a baby, suing a school to come back to teach at. No, that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense." So when I moved back with a U-Haul full of stuff, nowhere to live. My, fiance, I'll use that term loosely, at the time said he was going to get an apartment for us. And I moved back, 8 months pregnant, nowhere to live. So I had not lived with my parents since I was 18. Thank God they love me. And I moved back in with my parents, and I, was interviewing for jobs. And it was funny on the phone, they'd be like, we can't wait to hire you. You sound amazing. Your resume looks amazing. And I'd walk into the interviews and they'd be like, whoa, like I could see their face because I'm like way out to your, 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
So,
Now the name of the school is the Michelle Schauger Institute of. Just so everybody knows, that school is now.
They were like, whoa, fast forward like 5 years. Yeah.
So, and there you have it.
Can you call us in 18 months?
It's the finest institution out there. So congratulations on taking the school.
and I have to say, like, this one thing that, to this day, I have so much respect for RFA because they hired me like that. So they knew I was going to deliver the first week of school, and they offered me a position. So I started teaching at RFA. I'd been teaching there for 2 years when I got a letter in the mail asking me to go to a financial seminar. So at the time I was a single mom. I owned my own home. I was teaching full time. I was the senior class advisor. I was a union rep. I was finishing my master's, and I was waitressing on the weekend to pay for that. I say all of that to say no one in their right mind would have said to me, hey, do you want to do something else? Like, you want to learn how to be a financial advisor? So that was like not.
Yeah. Do you want one more thing on your schedule?
Yeah.
A couple hours a day? Yeah.
Right. But for people, like, I think that's encouraging because so many people these days, they give excuses and they say, oh, I'm busy. I'm so busy. I don't have any time. But the reality of that is if something comes in your path that you find value, you can see a future, you can see a big change, I think you make time for those things. So I think for those of us who are looking for those kinds of people, don't give up. Like, you have to just get really good at giving a message so that they can see a better picture for themselves. So
yeah. And now people have so much time, which is crazy. Right? Like, so I just heard this somewhere, and I don't know if it was one of you guys that actually said this, but somebody came out and said, like, that excuse has gone away because we have nothing but time. Obviously people are still working, but like so many people have so much time to themselves that you can't use that excuse anymore. Like, oh, I'm too, let me say, like, obviously if you have 5 kids, like Jesse, or like you have a business like you do, I'm not talking about those people, but people who want more and say, I'm too busy to do that. Like, that sort of is gone away for a lot of people.
Yeah. It's an interesting time for sure. And I know, like, some people, you kind of see this conflicting message out there where people are like, if you don't come out of this thing with a new skill or a new side hustle, or, you're kind of a loser, and then you see the other people who are like, dude, if I can hang on mentally through this, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. There's like this weird line to walk between, trying to encourage people I think it's how you frame it, to pursue your dreams. I think for me anyways, that was really it. So, I never in a million years would have thought I would leave teaching. I loved teaching. And so, a lot of folks will ask me now, do you miss teaching? I a million times miss the kids. Like, I loved it, but I'm still very much teaching. I just, I don't get told to F off all day long anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of a bonus.
Yeah. And you were shaping young minds. Now you're shaping, like,
all minds.
I want to say, fully grown minds. I mean, my mind is not fully grown. I don't know that you're married to Rob, so maybe his mind is fully grown, but Al and I,
I'm sure.
like, together our minds maybe are like one,
I had a conversation with Michelle a while ago about my finances. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to pay anything. I'm going to wait until they just disappear. She was like, good idea.
Good strategy.
Yeah, great plan, Al.
So you want a follow-up meeting like tomorrow?
Yeah. So I'm going to send
How's
you
tomorrow morning work? So Michelle, talk about teaching. You love teaching young minds. You're now in the financial advice space. Briefly talk about that transition. What was that like? Like, okay, so you made the decision you made the decision, okay, I'm going to do this thing. Lindsay was just on here talking about the new thing, right? She went from a career in therapy to now running an athletic denim company. Like, right? So what was that transition like? And can you give maybe just a few things that really helped you get forward in it?
Yeah, sure. So the transition was not easy because when I first got into it, the vision was to be a stay-at-home mom. So like Lindsay and Jesse, that was my drive, like everything. So I actually initially got licensed and trained to help my fiance go faster. So my goal was like, okay, if I see clients and you see clients and I run the office and I still work, you can quit fast and we can just go really fast. So I gave it everything for 2 years. And then I was living my dream. I literally put in a 1-year leave of absence. And at the time, Matthew was 4. He was about to go to kindergarten. And I was like, yes, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. I can homeschool him. Like, we're going to have 12 kids. I'm going to have a giant bus. Like, I was like, this is going to be it. And
Yes,
then
kid bus.
that summer, I perhaps made a mistake, but looking back now, it was a life-changing decision. I made a decision that July to go see Jim Rohn speak in California. At that time, he was only speaking once a year, and he was well into his 80s at that point. So I went to see a 3-day conference with Jim Rohn, Charlie Tremendous Jones, like all these amazing guys. And it was goal setting and just amazing life stuff. So one part of that was half a day of goal setting. And so when I came back, well, first of all, when I was there, I like looked at the piece of paper and I was like, whoa, where'd that girl go? And it took me physically going there and to realize that I had left everything that I value-wise believed and wanted. So when I came back, I was faced with the decision of, do I get out of this relationship? Okay, at a time when now I have 0 income. So that was a huge scare, so it took me 4 months to get the courage to prove what I thought was happening. And I then chose to leave him and separate our businesses. And I had to start over from scratch. And thankfully, again, I had only taken a year leave of absence. So I went back to teaching full-time that fall. But in January of 2005, I started rebuilding from scratch my own business. So that was terrifying again in another way. So, I want to encourage women that sometimes, well, encourage everybody, not just women, that, you have a vision for your life and you can see it perfectly and you're just about to grab onto it. Poof, it could blow up. So it could just be, a bad relationship. It could be death. It could be some kind of illness. So for me, like I had poof, one blow up, then poof, another blow up. And then finally at that point, it was, thank God I had gone to see Jim Rohn, because for me, I then knew undeniably, these are the things I want in my life. I'm not going to settle. These are the values I have. I'm not going to change them. And now I'm going to move forward. And that for me was the defining thing that happened in my life. And then I just kept fueling that. I kept fueling that, like, Jesse had alluded to, and like Lindsay did. I started consuming books and listening to, great thinkers and putting myself around people who were miles and miles ahead of me. And just, I poured way more than 10,000 hours into myself. So I just became consumed with that. And so I think having a purpose, so defining what my purpose was at that event. And then later on, I went to a very intensive vision board workshop that was an entire day. And I learned how to teach those and I learned how to do that. So for me, keeping my vision in front of me and knowing what that is at all times, that's what changed everything.
That's awesome. So the question of the day here is, the ups of entrepreneurship and motherhood are easy. And I don't mean easy like it's a breeze, but when you're up and you're in a great mental space and things are going great, it's easier to deal with things. But when those become downs and you're in a low space, how do you keep going? And can you give a short example, just in your experience of how you've done that?
And that's why I wanted to tell those two parts of the story, because those were some serious down times, like frightening. And so your mind can go one of two ways. You can feed the negative thoughts, you can feed the despair and the fear, or you can feed hope and you can feed forward movement and you can feed a vision. So I always tell people that I'm thankful that I had, Matthew in front of me all the time, because for me, that was such a motivating factor. I used to actually pretend, like he would be his age that he is right now, and he would meet a family in my company that, that he'd just meet somehow, and he'd learn that I had the opportunity, and he'd go see their life and how amazing it is. And he would come back home and say to me, dude, you could have done that. Why didn't you do that? So I tried to play these games with myself that he'd get accepted to an amazing college and I wouldn't be able to just write a check. So I tried to think of the negative things, and I let that fuel me, along with seeing in pictures how I wanted to live out my life.
How did you keep from going, like letting the negative stuff like pull you into like a fear mongering state versus like the fuel, right? Because that's a big thing for a lot of people. And of course, maybe there's some DNA, how you were raised, you know, that decide that. But for you personally, how did you keep yourself from going down the worrisome hole and instead letting it fuel you? Do you feel like that was DNA, or is there something specific that you were able to?
DNA, I'd be hitting a bottle like all the time, because that's our go-to mechanism, right?
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
So I had to learn what not to do, you know, like definitely. But one thing that's crazy, and I think everyone kind of knows what their sort of go-to thing is. Mine was literally comedy. So I would just listen to comedy at home. I'd watch comedy movies. I just tried to put laughter in my life because I had read a lot of studies about how cancer treatment, people were using comedy to cure disease. So I was like, I'm going to use comedy for whatever. Like, I love comedy. So that's what I did. I know that sounds crazy. So comedy and God, those are my two things.
Amen.
Those are good things. Yeah. Amen. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for taking time out this Sunday evening. Happy Mother's Day to you. I can't wait to meet you in person when we're allowed to.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah. So before you jump off, tell everyone one thing that you want them to know about you or something you're doing. And if they want to ask you a question about being a mom or being an entrepreneur, or how to get, you know, jump that stopgap, where could they contact you?
So I'm clearly the old lady on the call tonight. So
Stop it.
As far as business goes, so you can call me.
No, Rob is the old lady on the call.
Rob's the old lady.
So I'm on Facebook. It's just my name, Michelle Schager, on Instagram. But probably if someone wanted to reach out to me via email, it's just mschager@primerica.com. My website, if you Google my name, Michelle Schager at Primerica, you can find the website. So website, Facebook, Instagram, kind of the normal stuff.
Beautiful.
And I would love to chat with anybody about starting side hustles or getting their finances in order or teaching or being a mom. Any of those things I would love to chat with people about.
Beautiful. Anybody out there listening, reach out to Michelle if you need help in any of those areas. Thank you so much, Michelle. Happy Mother's Day.
Thanks, babe.
Hey, Michelle.
Rock and roll. No tech issues.
No tech issues. Thank God. Right? What a blessing. So to reiterate some things, we've got about 30 people in here hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys. We are running a Sunday, Wildcard Sundays giveaway. And all you have to do is in the comments, right? Whether it's on one of our feeds or in the NoBull Business live comments, just type your mom's name or tag your mom if she has Facebook, if she's all tech savvy and into it. Tag your mom in the comments or type her name with a heart. If you forget the heart, right, who cares? Like, because we make the rules. So, but just tag your mom's name, and then you will be eligible to win a 3-pack of Empathy wines of your choosing, red, white, or rosé. You can do a mixed pack, but we've got a 3-pack that we're giving away tonight to a random person that's inside the live stream. So we'll do it at the end. We'll select you. We'll get a hold of you, and but all you got to do is tag your mother's name. Or
just write it if she doesn't have Facebook.
Yeah, just write your mom's name, put a heart, do something to honor your mom today, obviously in honor of Mother's Day. And this live, we're honoring moms, we're honoring mothers in business, momtrepreneurs, something like that. So please tag or just write your mom's name and we'll pick a winner and we'll get you some free wine. So super simple.
Yeah, right. I mean, give her some love, right?
Yeah.
Everybody watching right now, just write their name. You could win
name.
Free wine. It literally is shipped to your door.
It takes 2 seconds.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
The most work you have to do is to uncork
I love you,
it.
Mom, whatever. But yeah, we're giving away free wine tonight, 3 packs. So just write your mom's name and you could be a winner. Boom.
Okay. I'm feeling good. I feel like it's so far it's either me or Al start to get a little buzzed.
A little buzz. I'm a little buzzed
Yeah.
too, but I'm trying to keep it together because of like the people. I want to be respectful of, all of our guests. And I'm like, but I am feeling.
Yeah, but you get more like
I'm feeling.
You get more like good, like feely, like
Yeah, I get
emotional.
all
Like so, you
emotional.
treat people even. I don't want to say better because you treat people great, anyways. But like,
You're a dick usually, but when you're drunk,
but when you're you're not at all.
no, I know.
And-
Yeah, no, I
okay.
get all emotional and I get all feely and whatever.
Linda
believe-
gave a shout out to her mom. Said taught me so much about wine appreciation.
Oh wow, look
Did
at
it?
that. We'll put you up there, Linda. Good friend of my mom's and really a friend of mine. I got to meet Linda a while back, and beautiful people, her and her husband.
So
So
now comes to the time in the
mystery
show
guest.
when we finally release the mystery guest. By the way, mystery guest wasn't Trip.
It wasn't Trip. That was
No, we had somebody comment.
But this person may be a Trip.
Maybe a Trip.
could be a Trip.
Name is not Trip.
And
No.
fun fact, tends to trip a lot.
Mm.
Does tend to trip.
Mm.
Very little small legs and does tend to trip.
That's the perfect intro
I'm just saying.
to now bring him in.
Bring him in. Mama!
Mama Kutri.
Welcome to the show, Mama Marianne
guys.
Kundry,
How are
Al's
you? Oh,
mother.
Cheers to
Mom.
Mama Kutri. Cheers.
Cheers to Mama Kutri. Ma, take a sip of wine. This is where you take a sip of wine.
Okay.
Okay.
She drank it all already. We kept her waiting.
I know. She's already a little looped.
Al, did you keep the bottle? You kept the bottle? Or did you give it to Mama?
No, I kept the bottle because, it's her
All
first time.
Okay. Okay.
So a lot of my mom's friends are, I think, chiming in right now, too. So this is good.
Marianne, thank you so much on this fine Mother's Day for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You've raised a wonderful son.
Oh,
Well, I think he's pretty cool.
Well,
It's the sax.
A little prejudice, but
yeah. No, I get it. I
Yeah.
love your son.
so I'll
Love
give
him.
a little heads up to my, my mom was like, what's this all about business? She was texting me while we were doing our show. She was like, this is all about business. These women are amazing. I don't know what I'm going to say. So I was like, Ma, this is my answer to that. I didn't text you back. I would send her memes of like Josh Groban saying like, I'll raise you up. And that's it. So what I want to
Then she's like, okay, let's do this.
yeah. Then she was like, okay, I love Josh Groban. Thank you. What I want to say is that, my mom has worked her entire life. She raised me, worked at different people and was like their right-hand person. So we've talked about in the past, like, you don't have to be the person that owns the business, and you can be an entrepreneur inside of your business. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she was that for so many people, for all of her bosses from way back in the day. She worked for a guy named Dick Easterly, who used to own something called the Downtown Quarterback, which people aren't going to know what that means. Some people will, but it was a pretty big deal, right? He was a Syracuse football guy and Hall of Famer, all that jazz. But my mom, in every job that she took, right? In every job that she was in, not only did she stay there for a long time, like 6, 7, 8, up to 10 years, she became like the entrepreneur inside the job and became somewhat indispensable. All of her bosses were very much like, even to this day, she just recently worked for, she got her, after my dad passed away, she got her insurance licensing and all this other stuff. Right. And then like became indispensable to her bosses. And I think that that's really where, my mom shines as a business person, is knowing how to become like the right-hand man, indispensable person to, the person that's taking all the risk and all that. My mom, her number one thing was raising me and taking care of my dad. So that was her. She didn't really want to start a business. Like she didn't want that. Her business was us. So I think to credit you, that's a very big deal. That's as big of a deal as being the person that starts the business.
Sure is.
Well, thanks, Al, because my greatest accomplishment in life is you.
Hey.
I mean, being a mom and a wife, and that
That's
was
amazing.
truly what the best thing I've ever done in my life. So I'm happy and proud to say that I am not an entrepreneur. I mean, I have done many, many things. Mostly, I mean, you know, I have to say it's my sister who's always been involved in the non-for-profits, and you know, from the very beginning, I've always tried to be there and help her as a volunteer and do what I could do to promote her events. But as far as me, you know, I mean, I've dabbled in many things, and
Just
as
like
Al
me.
says, just like you,
Apple,
The apple
tree.
really.
doesn't fall
Well,
far from the tree.
It's true, and as
we
Al
try
has
things. We got-
said, I have remained close with all of the bosses that I've had in my life, and have worked very closely with them over the years, and we've just shared some beautiful experiences. So, you know, that's really all I can say. I currently have a wonderful boss, an ophthalmologist. I just finished working with State Farm in a remote situation, who's equally lovely. He was a wonderful man, very good to me too. And so I've been very, very fortunate to have all these people in my life.
Mama Kucher, I have two questions for you. First off,
I'm scared.
no. So this one's good. So I have a couple of small businesses. I mean, they're not, you know, I'm not huge or anything like that, right? So like small businesses, but I always want to know, how can I better support my employees or team members, or like give more to them to make them happier? Like that's just me. In your opinion, over your lifetime professional career, what do you feel is the number one, let's say top three things that make you just love the company that you work for, or, you know, the person who's supporting you, that makes you want to give more into the company? Like, what are the top three things that you have seen that just give you the drive to support that company?
I have worked for three, especially I will say three wonderful men who have really, they inspire all of their employees to do more for them. And the reason that they do is because primarily they're just kind men. I mean, they don't harass you all day. They don't pressure you. They don't tell you or give you a hard time if you have to be out for a reason, whether it's yourself or family related. They're understanding. As a result of that behavior, we just can't do enough for them. And so we do over and above. I also worked, and I won't mention the name, for an organization that was probably the worst experience of my life. And
let's not say who they were.
No, I would never say who they are. But
There are
as a
sponsors.
result of that behavior, I still did my job effectively, and I did what I had to do, but not with a happy heart, and I didn't go to work happily. And most of the people there looked for ways to be, I want to say, a little devious. The three men who have been wonderful, as I say, they are, you know, if you needed to make a phone call at work, they have no problem with that, as long as you're doing your work. You're not cutting them short. And, you know, they're just great men.
You're just I'm just like you. Like, that's why when I go to work for whoever, I'm like, you know what? This is how it's gonna go. If I need to make a call, I'm just gonna do that.
But I don't tell them that.
No, I know. But you're like, it's
They
great.
have
There are
been
no
great.
rules at all.
They have been gracious enough to do that to their employees.
No, you've had great.
They've made it very, very comfortable, very easily. The guy from State Farm, Dan Tivnan, I mean, he made it easy for me to work for him from home. That was a wonderful situation. Couldn't have been nicer, you know, just a wonderful guy. The doctor I work for now, equally nice. I mean, if you have to call in, if you have to take time, if you have to interact with the other employees, he's just a part of it. The humor that goes on, the camaraderie that goes on. They encourage camaraderie. I think that's the other big thing.
And just feeling valued and appreciated. Like Jen, I
Yeah.
put Jen's comment up there. Like when you feel recognized and valued, that like the people you work
Absolutely.
with, they appreciate you and like that you mean something to them, they'll work so
Absolutely.
much harder for you.
And they thank you, they acknowledge you, they give you credit. Those are the men that you go over and above for.
Or women.
Truly.
Could be a woman too.
Or a woman, yes, I'm sorry. But, you know, in my case, it has been the men.
Yeah.
But, you know, you do go over and above for them for those reasons. You know, when they just treat you like you have to be there and you have no other place better to be, you just sort of do your job and you leave. There's no loyalty involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you have it.
But I feel very loyal to
Well,
all of the
appreciate you,
people
Ma.
that I worked.
It's good.
Well,
It just goes to show you human to human, right?
Right.
Like just
Absolutely.
being a good person is always the right answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the key.
And you know, I got to give you like
Right.
you really gave me a lot of freedom to pursue whatever I wanted to pursue. Even when it was like crazy, ridiculous things, you were like, well, like, you know, okay. I guess
I hope I did that because
just be careful. with
yeah,
that.
I mean, just be careful. Know what you're getting into, but
That right there, like please be careful. Okay.
And for God's sake, change your underwear today.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my favorite word. Please be careful.
Where are you getting this money from? Do you have the money for that? That was a consistent to this day. Like,
I know.
like I'm 35 years old. You know, I have a house. I've been on my own. Like, I'm totally comfortable and fine. And literally, like last week, my mom was like, "How do you even pay your bills?" And I swear,
Al, how do you pay your bills?
Yeah,
and
like-
did you
Well,
change
I
your
never
underwear
know how
today?
he
Are
does it.
you-
He doesn't have a weekly income, and yet he's, you know, he has
I do
everything
whatever I
he
want.
wants. He does
Al.
whatever he wants.
Al,
You know,
With all the
Right
tip
here.
money,
Right.
they put down his saxophone. That's what
Yeah.
it was.
I feel you,
Flip
man.
Right.
here.
Like, and I'm like, Mom, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know how it happens. It happens. So I'm like, you know, here's some money. I'm happy.
Although I have to just tell you, he's very much like my whole family. My father was the instigator of that. If my father had to buy something and funds were a little low, and the best product was maybe 100 or 200 more than the one that ideally you could afford, he'd always say, "Oh,
Well, what's
a 100 more? You might as well get the best."
right? Life is short. You get what you know.
Yeah.
Always.
You
did
figure it
that.
out.
You
That's
did
figure it
how
out.
we lived,
This
yeah.
is all your fault, but I love you for it.
It's all right. You're doing okay.
That's fine.
Okay, and second question. If Al were an animal, what animal would he be?
Oh, well, I have to go with the lion, Leo the lion.
Oh, it aligns. She was watching. Okay.
Trained. No,
I
she's
have to
saying that
go
because
with
I'm a
the
Leo.
Yeah, my
Mom,
brother-in-law.
they ask you the
actually called
question.
him
I'm a
Leo.
lion.
Yeah,
If they ask you about which animal, say lion.
the lion.
But no, seriously, I just snuck that one in there, actually. The serious second question is, you've raised a lovely
Lion.
young man here.
Thank
A
you.
lovely lion. You've raised
Thank you.
a lovely lion.
Thank you.
Can you give a tip, 3 tips, some tips to any mothers out there trying to figure out what are the most important things to try to raise my child with all of the chaos, the things changing every day, they're changing every day. Can you give the 3 tips to young moms out there on how to approach raising their children?
Well, I mean, first of all, I have to say that I think a lot of it has to do with the personality of the child. Al happened to have been someone who really never gave us a hard time. But
Oh, I thought you were going to say always gave us a hard time.
no, he never did. He was really, I have to say, he was really a real treasure. I mean, there were no terrible 2s with him. Actually, it's more like terrible 35s.
I was going to say, John and I are paying for that right now. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, he
All
saved
of
it
my
for us.
rebellion is coming out now.
But quite honestly, I think you do have to just stick with normal discipline. I don't think you can, when they're young, I don't think you can be their friend. I think you have to be their parent.
Right.
And you have to impart the values that you believe in and the morals that you believe in, and you have to direct them to do the things that you know are right. You're not always going to be their favorite person. I mean, sometimes you just have to force them to do something they may not want to do when they're young, of course. But, you know, I think that's what...
Or 35.
that's what develops them into being an adult that's responsible, you know?
You were tough.
I was
were
very
tough.
difficult with homework and things of that nature.
You were tough.
I was. If he made a mistake, I made him do it all over again. And more than once, if the
This
right
woman does not believe in whiteout.
no, he couldn't cross out.
You
He
start
wasn't
from
allowed to
scratch.
cross out or scratch. No, he had
Yeah.
to start from
You
scratch.
start over until it's perfect. And yeah, you were tough. But where did it land you? On a very successful podcast.
Yeah.
At 35 years old. So
Now you're basically raising a budding superstar,
there you
more or
have it.
less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. And you know what? I'm very grateful for it though. As much as we went through a bunch of stuff, super, super strict on me, real tough. Ma, are you moving or are you frozen? What's happening here?
I'm sorry, my computer died.
Frozen.
Unbelievable.
Oh, there
Wait.
she is.
There she is.
Oh my gosh.
Are you kidding me?
You know, I'm not black. I couldn't even.
Mama Gucci.
I love it. This is the best episode in
This
the
is
history
not-
of
how did this
live
happen?
podcasts. So
Well,
happy right now.
Little trick video work.
Frozen. Do we leave her frozen on the screen and just also have her here, or should I remove her from the frozen screen?
I don't know. Now we're going like with this.
Now I'm all screwed up. Oh, you're
Kaboom.
There
done.
we go.
Okay, so let me.
Well, that was a fantastic tip. I mean, that was so. Were there?
You're talking to here.
She probably can't hear though, right?
Is
She's
that okay?
taking over the show.
Oh,
Can you hear?
yeah. I can hear you. Can you guys hear?
Yep.
Can they hear?
Yes.
Hang on.
Yeah. Al, tell her to get it. Was that the only tip, or does she have any more for raising a young? Does she have any more tips? Or was that the tip?
You good?
No, I think just being I think you have to discipline and impart your values. That's it. And you have to be the parent.
Love it.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, Mama Kutri,
Mama Gucci.
Marianne.
Kutri, what's happening?
What? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to raise this young man. You've done a fantastic job.
Am I supposed to?
You're a little close to me, to be honest, with the whole social distancing thing.
Hey, that's how you get the meatballs.
I'll tell you right now, that's not.
I'll go around here.
Tell her. I don't know if she can hear me or not, but Happy Mother's Day.
Johnny said Happy Mother's Day. Okay.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you very much for having me on. It was a real experience.
We've never met in person, but we love you.
Thank you.
We love you. It was a pleasure.
Slice of heaven. Do I have to do anything to this mic?
No, good to go.
Sanitize.
Sanitize it. Ma, I love you.
Ma, love you.
Meatball.
Ma, the meatball.
Thanks for the
Wait,
meatballs.
You already have meatballs.
What are we doing here?
We're heading into rapid fire. This is the moment.
Let's go.
We had a bunch of people, but
This is the moment where we hit rapid fire questions. Last week we had a little bit of a lull with the rapid fire, but we got them ready and rip roaring to go.
yes.
Bia, hit those up as soon as you're ready. For anybody watching out there, post your questions in the comments. And now is a time when Al, Coach Rob, or John Humjagger Timmerman, myself, will answer your questions. By the way, if you want to know why I'm called Humjagger, you can ask that question and I'll answer it. But
Any question goes. Doesn't have to be business, whatever.
pop any
We're an
question
open
in,
book.
life, business, and Rob's going to ask them to us. We'll all rip through the answer and we'll make it happen.
All right, first one up from Nick. Nick asks, best memory of your mom.
You want me to go first?
Yeah,
Tonight.
I think that was just it.
This one. I just
Right.
had.
That was definitely my best memory
2
of your
minutes
mom.
ago.
tonight.
60 seconds ago, I just had it. Hit it,
John?
Rob. Oh, me? Okay. Best memory of my mom. So I have probably the best memory I have of my mom, which, by the way, I have a terrible memory. So there's better ones, but this one's pretty good. When I got married, we had the mother-son dance, and I selected "Simple Man" for the song to dance with my mom by Leonard Skinner, and then redone by Shinedown. Great song if you want to listen to it. So we were dancing to that, and it was so like I was so emotional, and like the song was literally like singing my life with my mom, and we're dancing, and she's like crying, and I'm crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best ever. And like she looks up and she goes, "This is a great song. What song is this?" And I'm like, like Simple Man's a very well-known song, like even her era, more or less, like maybe a little bit after, but like, yeah, totally thought it was going to be like hit her hard. Like, I can't believe you hit this song to me. So like, and she had no idea what the song is, but it was also
Who chose this? Is we get a DJ?
yeah. No, she loved the song. She just had no idea. She'd never heard it before. And I picked it because I thought she was going to hear it and be like, I can't believe you picked this song for me. But she had no idea what the song was. But it was still an amazing moment because we were both emotional and loving each other. So anyways, that was it.
I can't believe you just stole my thunder.
I did?
Did you have the same?
You did.
Oh, shit.
You know,
Did you
it's funny.
play the same song? at
Your mom
wedding?
not like that
All
song.
right, are you guys ready? She's gonna kill me.
Uh-oh. Who, your mom?
You ready?
Hopefully not Michelle, because she's in the next room.
I can't see this. What is this?
Can you see that?
You picked your mom up.
Oh,
I just
pick
sent her
her
this.
right
I
up.
just sent her this picture today
Oh,
of our wedding. This one's a little better.
oh yeah. Okay.
Describe it for
Yep.
those that can't see it.
Yep. So it's my mom squeezing my face on my wedding day.
Oh,
The first picture was her. I picked her up and we were dancing, cutting a rug on the dance floor. So.
emotional times.
Yep. All right. Next question from Lindsay. Lindsay Dillon. I think Tripp was the one that actually wanted to know this question. Tripp says, "Best moment of your weekend, Al."
Gosh, probably this morning's breakfast.
Describe.
What'd you
your
have?
breakfast. What did you have?
I just had 4 eggs, Ezekiel toast with butter, and I gotta
Ooh.
tell you, just very simple 4 eggs with toast and butter. But like, you know what? It hit. It just was like.
Is breakfast your favorite meal of the day?
Probably.
Yeah,
I don't
Rob?
know. I'm real good. I'm real good with breakfast. And this morning, let me tell you, it was like I should have a breakfast podcast. Well, no, you've got the breakfast podcast.
You could be on it.
Well, I would love to when we can be together because this morning's breakfast hit real hard, and I was very grateful.
Right on.
So there you have it.
Johnny, best moment of the weekend.
I've just had a bit like moment. Oh, it's tough. Like the past from 6 o'clock last night until right now, it's still going. Has just been a great 20 hours. I don't know what are we at? 27 hours of time between Lindsay. It's her first Mother's Day. It's amazing to witness that and to support that, and then being able to see my mom and just great. So that whole section was great. If I had to pick the best moment, it would just be when Lindsay woke up today and she was celebrating her first Mother's Day.
That's beautiful, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, we had a great day today too. So we had Michelle's mom over and Michelle's mom's boyfriend, and we, it's always a blessing to just hang out, spend time with family on a Sunday afternoon when you can just kind of shut everything else down. We did takeout, so we were able to like be a blessing to the restaurant owner, and the line was like around the corner. This guy's food is fantastic. A shout out to Eddie's Paramount Diner in Rome, New York. Fantastic meal today. So family time. Yep. Al? So funny about that.
No,
did you have the roast beef?
I didn't have the roast beef. No.
Yeah, roast beef.
We'll get Eddie's next week's sponsor.
That's right.
This week's
all right,
sponsor is the roast beef from Eddie's. No, just
Yeah, just the roast beef is sponsoring.
It's macaroni and cheese is going to sponsor our
reading
show.
some of the other questions that are coming in and thinking about.
Yeah. So next question. What is your best childhood memory?
Oh, geez, I have a bad memory. Tens were. Oh gosh. I don't know. Probably. My parents were big on throwing me like big birthday parties, and one year Batman came. Actually, a few years Batman came, but like that was like, when Batman shows up to your party, and this guy, not looking back, this guy's suit was like so authentic.
Ooh. Like
And
the hard chest and everything too, or
like it must have been like a few $1,000s. I mean, it was like actual Batman, So that was probably my best memory of like, well, Batman came, so that was good.
all right.
There you have it.
Awesome.
Life could end now, and I'd be happy.
John?
Best childhood memory. This one. Okay, got it. Just hit me. Okay, best childhood memory was we have these pine trees. So we have. I live next door to my parents now. I actually bought the house next to my parents. We have a good plot of land. So the best memory I have was when I was young, climbing up through. So pine trees, right? In the winter, they get all weighed down with the snow, and so they're like this. So me and my brothers and I would crawl into the tree trunk and like navigate our way up the pine tree somehow. We'd have to break the branches off to get up there because it's so tight. We'd get all the way to the top or close to, and then we'd slide down the pines all the way to the bottom.
Ouch.
No, like upstate New York, like middle of the winter down. Like yeah. So you're hitting 4 feet of snow.
I would have never been allowed to do that. Just to let you know.
If you got your grades up, you would have.
What?
If you got your grades up, you would have.
No.
Shit together, Albert.
So that was an amazing memory. Yeah.
What a great
Awesome. So we grew up living next door to my mom's parents, and my grandfather. We always had this giant gardens on the property. We grew our own popcorn. So the best ever was our own grown popcorn and root beer. My grandfather loved root beer with his popcorn. We'd all sit down and watch a TV show. So if my parents were out for the night or whatever, we get to stay over. But even if not, sometimes we just go over for popcorn and root beer, and then we could just walk back home.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Awesome. All right. Lindsay asks, best favorite meal you've ever had?
Can't answer.
Al?
I just got nothing. I so many meals. There isn't like a best favorite one. It's just anytime I get a chance to eat, that's my best favorite.
Tonight's meatballs?
Yeah. Oh.
That you didn't share with us.
Cheesy broccoli is really good. It's a family recipe, which I haven't actually had in the past few years. But that's a really good one. It's like broccoli with I think it's just Velveeta cheese, honestly, like baked into it, and then Ritz crackers broiled over the top of it.
Oh yeah, it's a good move.
Good stuff. Mine is I think we've had this question before. It is the veal parm at Pinnell's in Saratoga. The sauce is fantastic. The veal literally hangs over both sides of the plate. Oh. Awesome. All right, next up. Oh, good question. Nick asks, where are we all grabbing drinks after the quarantine?
All of us, like Nick included.
I'm assuming he doesn't. I'm assuming he wants to come along. So okay, Nick. Nick, at your house.
Doesn't it seem that'd be very rude? Like, thanks for the tip, Nick, and like don't invite him.
Yeah. I got a pretty cool bar in my basement. We can all come over here.
Okay. Done. Sold.
Done. In.
Yep. Timber bar.
Timber bar.
It's made out of pellets?
Humjaggers.
Yeah. Humjaggers. No. Funny thing is, the front of the bar is all boards, like different colors and washes and stuff, boards. So, yeah, it is made out of pellets.
Awesome.
Coach.
Cool.
Fantastic. Lindsay says homegrown popcorn. Yes. So we, the popcorn grows just like, the corn you see in the cow fields and stuff like that. So at the end of the year, when it all turns brown, you pull all the ears off. You get about 8 to 10, 12 years of, we pull the sheath back, tie it in a bundle, and then we'd hang it in the basement alongside all of the heat ducts that would dry it. And then in the wintertime, after it's dried long enough, you have to take all of those kernels off the cob. And then we put it in these big metal cooking containers, and you go outside on a slightly windy day. You know, that crap that gets stuck in your teeth that you hate when you get popcorn. You pour container to container back and forth. So you put an empty container on the ground, you pour the popcorn out, and all of that stuff, the hulls, the wind would blow them and take them away.
Oh.
And then once you're done with that, you guys remember that when Schwann's used to deliver the big, like 3-gallon ice cream containers? I don't know. We'd fill a big container full of the popcorn kernels when it was done, and then it was an air popper on the stove and root beer. That's the homegrown popcorn.
There you go.
Story.
From soil to.
Here.
She wants me to come help you guys make homemade popcorn.
We missed a question here. We got, what is one of your craziest business ideas you have ever come up with?
Craziest.
Way too many. I literally can't even answer that question because I've come up with like 14 a day.
Well, what's the one that was like really stupid?
I don't know. Does Lynn? So I came up with one today. It was it's even out there. It's already like a thing. But it was, we have this dog bed, and my sister-in-law came over with her dog, and the dog peed on our dog bed, and we had to like zip the thing off, and I zipped the cover off, and then the inside of it was like another cloth thing full of stuffing, and I'm like, why would they not have made this like pee-proof, so you can take the liner off and then wash that and then just wipe it off? So to make a dog bed that is water pee proof.
That's a great segue to one of mine.
Oh, go.
Just like a mattress cover.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, it's not even crazy. It's actually good. I just have too many businesses.
That question came from my friend Jen, who we've tried a couple things. One of which was buying a diner, which we had no business doing whatsoever. But it was our favorite diner, and it was closing. We were like, okay, we're gonna buy it. Got an attorney and everything. That was probably the dumbest idea. And then it closed. But I digress. John, my dumbest idea was a sort of a collective ideas. It was a product called it wasn't even my idea, but I was part of the brain, the brains of it. It's called the P Quiet. And
this is awesome.
It was basically.
So you can pee when you're doing a podcast?
Well, no, how you go into public bathrooms, and it's like, for a woman or anybody really, you go in, and if you're using the stall or whatever, or let's say you're out on a date, right? You go to the back of the girl's house, or she goes to your house, and let's say the bathroom's like off the kitchen or someplace, and you want to pee. Like if you have the Pee Quiet, it goes in the bottom of the toilet. You pee onto it, and it like muffles the sound completely.
Oh,
so it's called Pee Quiet. And I had two friends that helped me with that, but the Pee Quiet never quite got wings.
It stayed quiet.
It stayed very quiet, but it was basically to muffle the sound of going to the bathroom. So there was the Pee Quiet, and then there was the shit.
Listen, I was just about to say, can we move on? Because I have to pee so bad right now, and we just keep talking about pee. But then you said shit.
Yeah, it's all
that. I somehow want to just create a product underneath that name.
Well, I'm just saying, going to the bathroom is a touchy thing, especially if you're not comfortable with somebody and you want to, muffle the sound.
Okay, all right.
So what else we got?
All right, because she said craziest and not dumbest.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I would tell you guys that this has been like the craziest for sure. The NoBull 2020, by far the craziest thing.
Let's start a life-changing conference and get Gary Vaynerchuk to come keynote it with $0.
Great idea. Smart.
All right, what do we got next?
Seriously, we got to ask like 3 more, and then I'm going to go pee my pants.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're going on an hour and 40
I was going to say, plus we're also going on an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, one more question. Pick the best one.
All right. The best one is, all right, Lindsay, if you can only bring 3 things to an island with you for a year, what are you bringing?
Who goes first?
Al.
No, I don't want to go first. 3 things to an island. What am I doing?
I would bring a laptop with internet. Does that count? Because they're the same. I don't know.
I would bring
Just satellite internet. The government has it. I want it to. So, laptop, my wife, and my child.
Okay. Rob?
Yeah.
Shit, we have no food.
Dude, just
Coconuts
you'll be fine. Yeah.
and fish. Yeah, we're good.
So I bring Michelle, bourbon, and the Bible.
Oh, bro. Man.
Good.
That's a good one. Michelle. We got to like what something with a B. Bible, bourbon, and like I
My
wish
babe.
a
My
B.
beautiful
Babe.
one.
My
Babe.
baby?
Babe.
Beautiful bourbon, Bible.
Oh, so good. Mine is I'm with John. No, maybe not my laptop.
Well,
Maybe
John
my
can't bring
phone.
you. He's already brought 3 things, so you cannot be with him.
No, I bring John and everything he's bringing.
Al's like, I want to go with John.
I'm taking you back because you're a survivalist and I'll live. If I go alone, I'll die. I'm bringing laptop, my saxophone, and these crosses. Done.
There it is. Because
There it is,
we all
folks.
gotta
This
do
was a
that.
good episode. This was a great episode.
I think it was better than last week.
Very happy with this episode, to be honest with you. Very happy. Thank you all out there.
Oh, we got to pick a winner for the wine.
Oh, right. Good call.
Or do we want to do it in post and just get a hold of them? There's a
We
lot
will,
of comments. Lots of comments.
Let's do that. 'cause
yeah,
they may
we'll,
not be on.
we'll count them all. Oh, yeah, good call.
We'll
We'll tag them.
announce it next. Well, whatever Tuesday. We'll say it out loud, but we'll tag you.
Awesome.
Right on. We will pick a winner. So as always, super appreciative to all of you out there that watched. We had a good episode. We had a lot of viewers today. We had a lot of great mompreneurs, entrepreneurs on. Make sure you tune in and engage with us every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. Sundays is a wildcard episode. You don't know what you're going to get. Tuesdays and Thursdays is interviews with really great, interesting people. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and share this on Facebook. Sharing is the best thing you can do for us.
Please.
Word of mouth. If you love us, if you like us, share
Even
NoBull
if you
business.
don't like us, just share it and be like,
Yeah,
you
share
might
it
like
anyways.
it, guys.
Just
I
sh-
don't, but you might.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, just share, help us grow.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks again, everyone. And to round out the show, as we always do, fellas, and everyone out there who's sharing a drink with us and possibly a little buzzed like we are. Cheers. Take us out.
Whoops. Cheers. I'm out. I finished the bottle.
Do one of these then.
Yes.